end of the row, and people have talked so many things already. But I'll put that question different way for you. So you've been a veteran in the offshore, and you've been part of the ENI as well. So you have a lot of insight on the offshore work. So I think that will be a good thing to listen from you, that how you see the prospectivity offshore going forward.
Thank you very much for inviting me on this panel. First of all, thanks for arranging such a nice gathering. So 2-3 things I want to first of all engage in, and that's the exploring the frontiers of Pakistan. First of all, as you have rightly said, we only drilled 800 plus exploration wells in Pakistan. And of course, if you see the density of those wells are basically more in this eastern flank of Pakistan, and that's it. The western flank is of course not drilled yet. So I used to say that basically half of our home is unexplored. So it's saying half of my home is not known to us is quite right. So first of all, in doing that, what we actually need by innovation itself. So in my humble opinion, the first thing that we must know that by doing the innovation means understanding the geology itself, explaining how the plate tectonics start, how the deposition starts, and where could be the place itself. So this is something which is becoming more and more innovative nowadays. We can go in the past, we can see those, we can, being geoscientists, subsurface people, we have the tools available which can de-risk those things, and that is the key. On the operation side, of course, as my colleagues, peers, they already highlighted, the cost of the security to do the operation in the onshore is really something we must persuade all our stakeholders that this is a must, because the first thing is that we need indigenous production. That is the must. If we don't do the right work at the cost-effective way, at the end of the day, we will suffer as a country. So we must do that. That's the one thing. On the offshore side, what I would say is that, of course, my legacy companies like ENI, even LASMO, we used to have 8 blocks in offshore Pakistan, and we have operated around 10% of offshore Pakistan in the past, right from 90s till today. So, of course, there's a lot of lessons that we need to learn from all the wells that has been drilled. So last 2 wells which have drilled in Pakistan in last 20 years offshore is from my legacy company, and we are now operating it as Prime, as you know. So there is a lot of lessons that we must learn and implement in order to understand that, and at the end of the day you apply those lessons to evaluate those 40 blocks. And of course, every company has its own appetite to take the risk. So in our geoscience world, nothing is binary. We must understand that. So if I say no, it doesn't mean no, no. That means there could be a yes for a company who takes differently. Because one thing I must say here is that for Pakistan, people used to say, have negative point of view about the geology within Pakistan, and I always differ at it, because we have not done yet much, because this country has got TCF, multi-TCF discoveries already at the birth of Pakistan. So right at the birth of Pakistan, we got a lot of good discoveries like Sui, as we all know. And there is time there is work to be done in order to persuade others to go innovative ideas, make ideas from those tools, those fancy new things which are coming up, and try to de-risk those things. And de-risking it at the end of the day will help us to persuade the investors to invest the capital in it. Because at the end of the day, the capital is, of course, need to be invested, and all the stakeholders, which includes the government agencies, private companies, government companies, all must unite. And I really want to compliment what Zeet Sahab said, that we need not a competitive environment here, because nobody else would come if the companies which are already in Pakistan, they must unite and try to market the geology which is present there. And of course, there are countries who have done a lot of dry wells, and ultimately they get a success. And I'll name, everybody knows here, Norway. Norway is a perfect example where there are more than 30 plus dry holes in offshore, and then suddenly there's a success, and then the whole thing comes. And as Ali already said, we need one discovery which is commerciable and which is producible, and it would be there if we want to work really on it. That's what I meant.
Thank you, Asim.